Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to write some spreadsheet formula today. Got quite a few requests coming in for such to build out dashboards, and everybody's going to be different how they want to run the businesses. But I think fundamentally, if you can learn a few spreadsheet formula what's the word I'm looking for, techniques, then it makes life a lot easier. So what I've done here is I've just dumped in, this is from my uplisting data, so you can see I've just dumped in a little batch here to give us an idea of what we can do. First and foremost, what we would do is this would be kind of our data sheet, and we would run from that sheet. So there's a couple of things you can do. So OTA payment fees, uplisting doesn't calculate these. So let's say, for example, we want to calculate that out. We've created this extra column here, and we would then just equals the accommodation plus the cleaning fee. Because there's two there, what we want to do is equals the sum of, so you put sum there and then in brackets. So as you can see, that gives us 458. And we don't want to autofill that. Now that's obviously not the payment fee. The payment fee, if it was booking.com, would be 1.3%. So with 1.3% that, and then that would give us our payment fee. Once we've got that happy, we double click that little box on the bottom right there, and it will then autofill everything out. To tidy it up, obviously click on here, format, number, and then depending on what you want to do, whether you want to do it as currency, or I tend to just go plain numbers, 2 decimal places. Stripe fees, again, 1.5% of the same figure, so you could run the same there. Now, booked week, so booked year, stay week, these are things that you need for kind of your dashboards to work. So how you would find the booked week equals week NUM, i.e. week number, and then you find the date that you want to pull the week number from. So we go to where's the booking date? Here we go, booked at, close the brackets on that, so equals week number, booked date, and that'll give you the week number that it was booked in. So if you want to find out, for example, how much you're booking each week, then you can run a lookup based on the week number. Booked year, very simple, again equals year, and we just go same date, and then it gives us the year that we want to do. Stay week equals the same as the booked week, apart from we choose a different date. So we actually would say, depending on whether you work on check-in or check-out, I work on check-out, so check-out date is week number 27. So as you can see here, booked on the 25th, staying on the 26th, booked on the 25th, staying week number 27. Month, again, a different type of formula, but equals text, and we then want the stay month. So for me, I go on checkout, and then we want to open -MMM, close brackets, and that then gives us the month. Now, if you wanted to reduce that down, just reduce an M, and as you can see, it just goes to June. And if you reduce it down again, it goes to a number. So depending on what you want, I like to display the full month, which is 4 M's after the text, and that gives stay months. Again, stay year, same as the booked year, we just choose from the different formulas. So that'll give us a basis to build our dashboard out, and then we can start searching for things. So what I then like to do is, if we have a main dashboard, so we'll just call this dashboard or company analysis, whatever you want. So what do we want to typically look here? So let's think, you might want to have a look at, let's say, property ID, property address, and then you might want to know how it's doing in January, February. Here's a little tip here. Once you put 2 in, highlight them both, and then just drag along, and it will put in the rest. There we go, all the way to December. And then, so property ID, let's just grab a couple here. So we'll take these 3 here. What you can do is, now to get the address, you can do a lookup formula. So equals the lookup. And then we want to go to this range here. And then we want to go to column 2, column 0, absolute. And that's not going to work. And we've only got to be fine. VLOOKUPs and H lookups are a lot more complicated. The look up. You'll see here it does actually give you a bit of a help. So search key is that's right, yeah, that. So we want to find that, and we want to find it in this range, and we want to pick the second column. So it'll pick up this, but we want to find the second column, and then that should do. Let's have a look. There we go. So that's picked up from there. That address is that. So what you then want to do is so depending on where you put your dollar signs, will lock it up. So if we want to lock up A3, and then we want to lock up so those columns there, then when we copy this down, you'll see here that A3 moves to A4 and therefore picks up A4 and then a different address. Whereas if I lock up A3 completely with $2 signs, it means it will always pick up A3 in that column rather than moving it down. So that's just a way that you can use the dollar signs to kind of fix fields. What we then want to do is, let's say, I'll go here, July, because I think the date's from July. So what we now want to know is, let's say, what is the total accommodation revenue for this Chiswick Dr. Gosforth based on the spreadsheet that we've got. So equals sum ifs, and then we want the sum range. So where do we want to sum? So we want to get, let's just say here, the total payout. Okay, so we want to sum that column V. Now what's the criteria? So criteria is property ID column must equal this property ID here, and then we also want the stay month to equal this month here at the top, July. And do we want any more criteria? No, that will probably do. So we click that. You see there, we've got £242 of bookings within that data that rely to July, that rely on that. Now, if we copy this down to the other columns, you'll see it doesn't work. What we need to do is, again, lock it up. So we want V to be locked up, which we put dollar signs in. The criteria range, again, is A, which is the same. The criteria is A3. Now, we don't, if we wanted it always to be A3, we'd double it up, but we don't, because when we copy it down, we want it to move to A4. But if you put the dollar sign here, it means that if you then drag it across to August, which I'll show you, there might not be enough data in here, but I'll show you, then it will always refer to A3. Whereas if you wanted it to move along, then you'd actually put the dollar sign in here instead of at the front of the A. So in AI, and then we, again, so here's a good example. So instead of J2, because what I'm going to do is I want it in the middle there, so that when I move it along to August, September, and copy the formula along, it moves along. So you'll see there, move that along to August, and it's gone from J2 at the end there to K2, but it's kept A3 as the property ID that it's searching. Let's see if we've got nothing in September, got a bit in June. So you see how you're copying that along, and it works. And that's how having your formula. So if I then copy this down, that then gives us, well, as you can see there, York Road. So that's the same property there, duplicated. So, but it shows you that the formula is working. You got your 229, you got 304, you got your 461. So as and when you then would, so for me, I basically download the uplisting data daily, and I just dump it into a spreadsheet like this, and it overrides it, and then this dashboard will then pick up the new data, add in the money, etc., etc. What else could we do? We could also look at, we could look at what revenue, let's say, the booking channels have brought in. So if we go here, let's just copy a couple of these down and try and get 3 in a row. Here we go. So copy here. So again, we could do we'll go here. So equals sum ifs, and we want to, again, total payout, and we want to, instead of the property ID this time, we want to pick up the channel name, and that channel name needs to reflect this here, which is B8, and comma again. Another criteria range is that the stay week is the same as this here, June, and then we close the brackets and close that off. Now we need to, again, just lock this up slightly. So we're putting the dollars in at the front. B8, we want that at the front there, and then AH, but this one we want in the middle, because when we move horizontally, we want it to go from I to J to K to L. So we've got nothing there, so we then copy it across. You see we've got nothing from booking.com. Look here, and we've got nothing there. So there's something wrong with this formula. So equals V sheet number 1J equals B8 sheet 1 AH equals June. Okay, interesting. Let's just double check, see if there are any bookings. Check out, we've got June Airbnb for that property, so there should be money in there. Let's have a look. So what I tend to do is I'll break it down if it doesn't work. So just see if the first part is working. So you could put equals sum sheet B, sheet 1 relates to that. There is, so that then works. So that's showing you that that works. Then basically what we want is the stay month is the equivalent to this. That's not changed. Let me just lock this up and see if this makes a difference. Nope, that's copying the same across, so that's not changing. Start again. Sometimes you've got to do this formula, just for some reason it doesn't work, equals sum ifs. So we want to calculate this total payout, and we then want to, the criteria is this here, has to match this here. Let's just see if that works. So there we go, 10336, so that's fine. Then we want to add a different criterion, which is that the stay month equals this. Okay, right, we're in the game now. So you can see that we haven't done much different there, but it's just sometimes you've got to just redo it. I don't know why, but you know, we've literally typed in the same formula there, and it's worked now. So we'll just lock it up. So, and then by locking up, we can copy it down. AI, and put that one in the middle. And then if we go across here with a bit of luck, it should now put in the different figures for the different months. And then we bring it down, and we've got the different figures for the different channels. So there you go. So that's how you can then work out how to put the different figures in for the different booking channels. That is predominantly the formula that you'd want to work with. Sum ifs is a big formula, VLOOKUPs, and that's going to give you, you know, a lot of your data. You could, you know, break it down further if you wanted to. You could have, you know, you could have your accommodation, cleaning fee, commission, other charges, and payout. They could be the columns that you want to pick up, and you could then pick them up for each property. You've just got to, you know, go through the same process of, you know, having your titles here, and then you'll have your property IDs here, and then you might have a fixed date here of, say, January, and then as you change that month, it might then change, and then it'll change the date to show you Jan, Feb, March, April, May. There's loads of things that you can do with spreadsheet formula, but sum ifs, VLOOKUPs, sums, matches, that sort of stuff, and then obviously the kind of date adjustment stuff that we did at the beginning here. You know, they tend to lead where it is. You could do, like, you know, if you want to sum up all your payment fees and work out, you know, like say for example here, you could say, okay, well, let's work out what commissions we're paying. We're paying them. So remember, the V column was the total payout. If we wanted to find out how much commission we were paying, it's the T column. So all we need to do is change this to T, and then just copy it across and down. And there you go. And that's how much commission you're paying to those booking channels in those months. And then again, if you want to break it down into property per channels, you could do that as well. Just, you know, go property Booking.com, etc., etc. So that's the basis of kind of how you can use spreadsheet formulas. You want kind of a main data sheet that you feed from with all your data on. You could go one step further. You'll notice here, like we've got, you see, we've got some AED properties in there. So you could say, okay, well, in here, they're just UK properties. We'll go Booking.com, for example. You might want to throw in another argument to say that this column here must only be GBP, and you put that in speech bubbles, and it will only pick up the GBP amounts. And then again, if we lock that up and then copy it all down, and then that only picks up the pounds. Similarly, if I want to change that to AED, see that it quickly changes to only AED. So there's loads of things you can do. A great source is Google. You just type in, formula, spreadsheet formula for, and then kind of explain what you're trying to do, and it'll bring something up that you can just copy. But once you get your head around how these all work, how the dollar signs work, so it becomes really easy, and then you can build out, really cool spreadsheets that are very valuable to your business and can give you the fresh data that you need at all times.